Ladies and gentlemen, the meeting of the Baltimore County Landmarks Preservation Commission is now in session. Please note the meeting is being audio recorded. My name is John Holman, Chair of the Commission, and I will be running tonight's meeting. We're your volunteer representatives appointed by our county councilperson or county executive and entrusted to monitor renovations and additions to our Baltimore County historic resources. We review and approve nominations to the Baltimore County preliminary landmarks list and comment on National Register nominations. Additionally, we are charged with evaluating submissions to the Baltimore County Historic Tax Credit Program that encourages the appropriate maintenance and renovation of designated historic properties. Would the commissioners please introduce themselves by name and county council district or representation? We can go in the order listed on the PowerPoint screen. John Holman, I've already introduced myself. Scott?
Hi, Scott Holupka, Planning Board Representative.
Ed Horde, Executive Appointment and Vice Chair.
Lisa.
So Lisa, it looks like you're muted. You want to introduce yourself? So Lisa, I unmuted you if you want to introduce yourself.
Can she hear us?
So Lisa, can you hear us? Turn your volume up maybe on your computer. She can't hear me.
I can hear you.
Okay.
No.
Introduce yourself.
So Lisa Jefferson, 6th District.
No, Vince. Wendy?
Oh, okay. I thought he was on. Wendy McIver, District 3.
Lily Mundroff, District 1.
Ray Scott, District 7.
Chris Weston, District 2.
Thank you all. Thank you. And now we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To
Flag.
the flag of the United
States of
America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you. The Landmarks Preservation Commission operates under the authority, standards, and requirements of Title VII, Article 32 of the Baltimore County Code. We refer to the United States Secretary of the Interior standards for rehabilitation as administered by the National Park Service. This is the accepted national standard for historic preservation projects. Our own Baltimore County Historic Preservation Design Guidelines directly reference and incorporates the Secretary of the Interior standards for rehabilitation. We have important preservation issues to discuss and debate at each meeting. If you would like to make comments, please limit your comments to the specific application or proposal submission being reviewed. We ask for your assistance and understanding so that discussions do not digress. As an additional comment, we can all agree that historic preservation is an important aspect of the quality of life and place that makes Baltimore County unique. As a commission, we seek to recommend significant buildings and places for landmark consideration to the County Council for their final vote. As commissioners, we serve on the commission due to our expertise, interest, and passion for historic buildings and places, and review submissions based solely on their merit. While we may disagree in discussion and voting, we continue to be a collegial body that respects each other personally and professionally. Thank you. And before we actually get into today's agenda, I'd like to introduce Jessica Brannick, who is joining us as our new assistant. And we're so pleased to have you with us, Jessica. Thank you for being part of the team. And we may be saying a fond goodbye to Taylor, who has done this for so many years, as she moves on to her next adventure. So thanks to both of you. And With that, I call on the staff to inform the members of the commission of any changes to the preliminary agenda.
Just a few more reminders before we get into that on offering comments. During the agenda item, if you're the applicant, property owner, or if you're a member of the public that would like to offer comments, you can either select the hand raise icon, which is next to your name, or you can send a chat to the host, to select host, and just let them know that you would like to speak when your item comes up, and we will make a note of that. Another reminder is that the LPC commissioners receive meeting materials 1 week prior to the meeting for review and preparation. And the packet includes all of the applications, plans, photos, and other things that were submitted. And they should have this information with them during the meeting. And the information that's presented on the screen tonight is just an overview and summary of the cases being reviewed, so it doesn't include everything that was submitted. It's purely a visual aid to help to keep the meeting moving in an organized manner. Now we can go on to the.
And now the chair calls upon the staff to inform the members of the commission of any changes.
There are no changes.
Thank you, Caitlin. Thank you. Any proposed changes to the minutes, commission members? And if not, may I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve, Chris Weston.
And a second.
Second, Wendy.
Thank you, Wendy. Voice vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that's approved. Thank you. Consent agenda items. Jessica, you want to talk about those?
Yes, good evening. So we have 4 agenda items this month, beginning with number 4, the Taylor property at 703 Woodland Drive in Relay, County Council District number 1. This is a vacant lot in the Relay County Historic District, and the homeowners are proposing an amendment to infill construction plans that were approved in November 2021 and include changes to the dwelling location, dwelling orientation, and driveway configuration. The staff recommendation is to vote to issue a certificate of appropriateness citing the Baltimore County Historic Design Guidelines, fences and landscapes, pages 1 through 3, additions and infills, pages 4 through 5, and County Code Section 327405. The next item is agenda item number 6. This is the Plano property at 320 Morris Avenue in Lutherville, County Council District number 3. It is a non-contributing structure in the Lutherville County Historic District, and the homeowners would like to install a new fence in the rear and side yard to match the existing. Staff recommends to vote an issue of a certificate of appropriateness and cites Baltimore County Historic Design Guidelines, Fences and Landscapes, page 4, County Code Section 327405. Next, we have agenda item number 8, the Altschbach Homan property at 1018 Windsor Road, Sudbrook Park, County Council District number 2. This is a contributing structure in the Sudbrook Park County Historic District, and the owners are proposing in-kind chimney repairs and replacements. Staff recommends to vote a certificate of appropriateness for the work, citing Baltimore County Historic Design Guidelines, roofs, page 4, County Code Section 327405. And lastly, we have agenda item number 11, the Savage property at 911 Adana Road in Sudbrook Park. In Sudbrook Park, County Council District number 2. This is a contributing structure in the Sudbrook Park County Historic District, and the owners are proposing a wood fence installation. Staff recommendation is to vote to issue a certificate of appropriateness, citing Baltimore County Historic Design Guidelines, Fences and Landscapes, page 4, County Code Section 327405.
Thank you, Jessica. Members of the commission, any comments or questions on any of those?
I move to approve.
And is there a second?
Second,
Second, thank you, Wendy. I think we have to do a roll call vote, Jessica or Taylor?
All right, let's begin. John,
Yes?
Scott,
Yes.
Ed,
Yes.
is Vince with us? No. Wendy, you said yes?
yes. Mhm.
Lily,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
and Salisa?
Yes.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And now we can move into the regular agenda.
Great.
And you all will advise me if we have anybody on the line that we need to invite in as we come to each one. Please. Thank you.
Yes, we'll let you know.
Thank you. Okay, so item number 5, I think.
Yep. All right, moving on to our discussion items. First, we have item number 5, Hot Spring Farmhouse Slave Quarters and Setting. This is the Bird property located at 2201 Hot Spring Road, Timonium, County Council District number 3. Final landmark number 267 and MIP number BA434. Homeowners are seeking approval to amend plans for a garage addition that was last approved by the LPC November 2020. The garage addition was originally conditionally approved June 2016, but was never constructed. In September 2020, the homeowners sought approval to downsize the garage, but the commission had concerns on the location, roofs, and porch and garage overlap and denied the application. The homeowners then received approval for the garage addition construction in November 2020. They are now ready to apply for a permit, but have made minor adjustments to the plans. The first change is a change to the pitch of the garage addition roof in order to accommodate a storage area above the garage. The garage addition was originally approved to be an 8 by 12 pitch and has been amended to be a 10.5/12 pitch. The new slope makes the garage taller than the mudroom connecting the garage to the home. Screenshots of the plans are provided below for your convenience. The second change on the rear elevation of the garage addition from a vent to a 6/6 window. The window will match some of the other windows on the home and will not have any shutters. The change in the roof height makes the garage height taller than the mudroom hyphen, the 2-story front porch, and the historic addition on the west side of the house. Our design guideline states that addition should be visually subordinate to the historic structure and that the height should be lower than the historic parts of the structure. Since the garage couldn't be set back from the main facade due to the site constraints, since the garage extends in front of the primary facade, special consideration needs to be kept in the design to ensure that it doesn't overpower the historic structure. Staff asks that the commission discuss the height change and its potential visual effects on the entire structure. The proposed window looks very large for the space, and staff recommends that the project be constructed to match the plans originally approved in November 2020, or suggests lowering the height of the garage roof to match the height of the mudroom, and find a window that matches or is similar to the 6-pane window on the second floor of the west block of the historic house with no shutters. So our recommendation is to vote to not issue a certificate of appropriateness or a notice to proceed for the garage roof height changes. Vote to issue a certificate of appropriateness with the condition that the roof height matches the height of the mudroom and a smaller window be used that matches the 6-light window on the west block of the historic house. And this is citing Baltimore County Historic Guidelines, Additions and Infill, pages 1 through 7, County Code 327405.
Thank you, Jessica. Commission members, any discussion, questions?
I have a comment. I am okay with the revised design. I think it's much smaller than the main body of the house. It's a little larger than the hyphen that connects the house to this garage, but I'm okay with it. So it's my comment.
And is that because it's not dramatically higher, Ed?
It's not dramatically higher, and it's not higher than, I mean, it says not, don't be higher than the house. The house itself is a number of different things. I mean, it's got the hyphen on the addition on the left side, looking at the partial front elevation, is taller than the little one that's on the right side of the main house. The main house itself is much larger than this, and I think it's still feels subordinate and not. I don't think it overpowers anything, so I'm okay with it. But I defer to the rest of the commissioners.
Any other thoughts?
I agree with what Ed is saying. I'm still a little bothered by the fact that the garage sits forward of the front wall of the house, but that's not what we're discussing here. We're discussing the steeper pitch roof, and I agree with that. I think it's fine.
Okay. Okay. Either of you want to put that into a motion?
I just wanted to question that there was a question about the window on the second floor of the garage. That seems a little out of big, too much for the second floor. I guess one of my questions is there a consideration to maybe do like an awning window that matches the other hyphen? So it's kind of subsidiary to the main volume of the house, or is there a concern for, I don't know if there's a concern for egress in that case, and they need to have such a large window.
Lily, we could add that as a condition that window be adjusted in size, and then allow staff to review that for approval if you want to amend a motion or make a motion with that as part of it.
I think that's a good point, that window shouldn't be any larger than the existing second floor window on the main historic building.
Can I ask, are they saying that they are or are not going to put shutters on the garage? I
Not,
heard some.
not, I thought it's,
On the front, just on the front.
Yeah, the
windows,
drawing
not the
shows
one in the
shutters.
back.
Okay, so they have it on the front, but consistent with the rest of the house.
Yeah.
Currently, they're shown as different shutters, so that's another question. I mean, I don't know, it's hard to tell from the pictures, but
right.
it looks like from the drawings, there are different kinds of shutters. From the front, first floor, main level, first floor, main house, second floor, and then the garage. So that would be my question too, is why is that?
Is someone here from the owner, representing the owner?
No, they're not.
So we would have two options. We can send it back and ask for them to provide more details on the shutters and ask for them to do a smaller window and show in the drawing, or we could approve it with the caveat that the window and the shutters have to come back through our staff, and we can designate them to approve it if they think it's appropriate.
Sounds good.
I like the second option.
Second option.
Okay, is somebody, could somebody make that motion? And so in the motion, it would probably be a help, for example, Lily, if you were more specific than I was about the window and the shutters.
So I make a motion to approve the submitted drawings with the revised roof ridge elevation and pitch, but request that the second floor garage window and all the garage shutters and hyphen shutters come back to LPC for staff review and approval. I don't know if that was good.
May we have a second for that?
I'll second.
Yeah.
Thank you. And so how this would play out, if we vote to approve it, it would come back to the LPC staff, and then they could call you, Lily, Ed, Chris, for a second look and see what you think of it. So be prepared for that might circulate. And
So I just want to chime in. So for Lily's motion, for the we can't do, you guys can't chime in if we like email you any of the changes, because that would be against the Open Meetings Act. So you can approve the plans as submitted with the conditions that the homeowners provide more information about the shutters, or that they match or we can say that they need to match the shutters on the historic house, and that they get a smaller window that matches the one on the western side.
Caitlin, I'm sorry, I wasn't suggesting that you send it to everybody. I was suggesting that for technical advice, you would be free to call one or two members, which would not violate the open meeting rule. So,
Okay.
is what I'm trying to suggest. So I apologize for that confusion. So we have a motion and a second. We need to do a roll call, please, Jessica.
Right. Chris? Is Chris with us?
Yeah,
He's muted.
Oh,
it's muted. Just wave your hand, Chris.
Yes, sorry.
That's okay.
Thank you. Ed?
Yes.
Lily? Ray?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Salisa?
Yes.
Wendy?
yes.
And John?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Jessica. And then we move on to number 7, the Karis property.
Right. Karis property is located at 504 Sudbrook Lane, Sudbrook Park, County Council District Number 2. It is a contributing structure in the Sudbrook Park County Historic District, and the property owners are proposing the removal of a front walkway to replace with loose stone path and the installation of raised beds. The owner came before the commission in February 2022 and was issued a certificate of appropriateness for the installation of a wood and wire deer fence on the side and rear yard. The owner is now proposing 2 hardscaping / landscaping projects in the front and side yard. The work was brought to our attention by a neighbor, and the hardscaping projects are under, the hardscaping projects are under the LPC's purview, and plantings, mulching, etc. are not. For the first work item, the owner has already removed the front concrete walkway that leads from the street to the front steps, the walkway on the front right side, and the rear walkway that leads from the house to the detached garage. The owner is currently in the process of installing a new pathway system using loose barn stone. The pathways will be 3 feet wide with 3/4 inch barn stone spread to a depth of 4 inches, topped with a 1 inch of 3/8 barn stone. And the design layout of the new pathways consists of the circular design in the front with plantings in the middle and a pathway on the left side that curves toward the rear to provide access to the backyard and leads to an existing rear patio. And on the right side, 2 paths will curve toward the driveway. Another pathway leads to the rear yard and branches from the driveway pathway. For the second work item, the owner is proposing to install a series of simple raised beds within the existing deer fence area on the side yard between the house and the detached garage. The layout will roughly measure 30 by 40 feet. Beds laid out in a 2 by 5 configuration that consists of 6 regularly spaced 4 by 8 beds with 2.5 by 19 beds in between each pair of 4 by 8 beds. The beds will consist of a brick border stacked 2 to 4 bricks high atop compact soil. The property owner provided a photo example of the raised bed design, and it was included in your meeting materials. The beds will be surrounded by the same 3-foot wide barnstone pathway to match the front yard hardscaping. Overall, staff is accepting of the work as proposed. and recommends to vote to issue a certificate of appropriateness for work items 1 and 2 as proposed, citing Baltimore County Historic Design Guidelines, Fences and Landscape, page 3, County Code section 327405.
Thank you. Thank you. Commission members, any discussion, questions?
I felt that the use of barnstone was a fabulous up brand on red gravel. I will note that the local commission approved this, so I don't see why we wouldn't.
As a note, if you guys have any questions, the property owner is online.
Visually, I think all the paths and everything going all over the place are a little formal for the house, but I like the gravel and stuff, so that's what they like. A lot of work.
May we have it in a motion from someone, please?
Motion to approve.
And a second?
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please, Jessica.
Okay. Chris,
Yes.
Ed,
Yes.
Lily,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Salisa,
Yes.
Wendy,
Yes.
and John.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. And now we go to the Ortuglio property at 219 West Seminary Avenue. And I believe we have some guests tonight to speak to this property, but I'll let you go through the preliminary, Jessica, and then I'd like to invite the guests in.
Right. Thank you. So as John mentioned, the Ortuglio property is located on 219 West Seminary Avenue, Lutherville County Council District number 3. It is a non-contributing infill structure in the Lutherville County Historic District. The owners are proposing to enclose an existing garage space, construct a 1-story, 25 by 42 foot detached garage, and connect spaces with a new covered walkway and vestibule. The property is an infill construction that was built in 2011 to 2012. Plans were approved by the commission in March 2011, and the property owners are proposing several exterior alterations to the east side of the home. They consist of converting the existing garage into a living space, construction of a detached garage, and the construction of a covered walkway and vestibule. Work item 1 includes the owner's wish to enclose an existing two-car garage space on the east elevation of the house to convert into a living space. The exterior garage door will be removed and replaced with 2 sets of white 25-inch by 45-inch 6/1 double-hung simulated divided light wrapped wood windows in the Anderson 200 series to match the east facade. The exterior will be covered in hardy plank lap sidings to match existing siding size and color of the house. For work item 2, the owners wish to construct a 1-story, 25 foot by 42 foot detached garage that will face towards West Seminary Avenue from the side yard. A portion of an existing wood picket fence will be removed from the east side yard to accommodate the new garage space. The remaining fence will join the southeast corner of the new garage and enclose the rear yard. The home and new garage will be connected by a covered walkway and vestibule. This is work item 3. And the garage will have a black tin standing seam roof with concealed fasteners, 2 8-foot by 7-foot metal garage doors with the appearance of wood on the front, and a set of white 25-inch by 45-inch 6/1 double hung simulated divided light wrapped wood windows, again Anderson 200 series, centered over the front doors opening from the garage attic. The west facade will have 2 metal panel doors on either end with 2 additional white 25-inch by 45-inch windows evenly spaced in the center to match. Beige hardy plank siding will be used to match the front house facade. Please note that the proposed location of the garage is along the property line, which borders the shared driveway. The location is outside of the 20-foot zoning setbacks. The commission does not have purview over only design and its appropriateness and compatibility to the main house and the historic district. All projects approved by the LPC must still meet zoning requirements, and this project will need a variance or special exception to be constructed in the proposed location. If the variance is denied, the property owner will need to return to the LPC with any changes in the location and design to satisfy setbacks. And finally, work item 3, the owners wish to connect the main house to the new garage by a covered walkway and vestibule located on the southeast corner of the main house. The entry vestibule will be a 7:1 by 7:1 addition on the southeast corner. It will have a sloped black asphalt shingle roof covering a walkway extending 11 to 5 feet south to the new garage and measure 8 feet to 6¼ inches high. A continuous edge will join the southeast corner of the walkway roof to the northwest corner of the new garage roof. The roof configuration and connection on the vestibule and walkway is not clear. From plans, the roof appears to extend past the east facade and is visible from the front facing the rear yard. Overall, staff is accepting of the proposal. The visual aspects of the detached garage, as seen from the road, are consistent with other detached garages found in Lutherville, like at 1421 Frankie, 209 West Seminary, 202 West Seminary, 1509 Bologna, and 309 Morris Ave, to name a few. In addition, the design is compatible with the main house, which is an infill construction, and staff urges the owners to contact zoning to resolve any setback issues. So staff recommendations are to vote a certificate of appropriateness for work item 1, vote to issue a certificate of appropriateness for work item 2 with the condition that the new garage setback satisfies zoning requirements, and vote to issue a certificate of appropriateness for work item 3. This cites Baltimore County Historic Design Guidelines, windows and doors, pages 5 and 8, roofs, page 6 and 10, facade materials, pages 2, 3, 6, additions and infills, pages 2, 3, 5, fences and landscape, pages 4, 5, and finally, County Code section 327405.
Thank you, Jessica. Thank you. I understand we have the owner and also some other guests online. And before we call upon them for their comments, I want to remind them that comments should be held to under 3 minutes. There will be a timer on the screen for you to remind you of the time. It's important for you to tell us your name and your relationship to the property, whether you're the owner, a neighbor, whatever that may be. And please limit your comments to new information. So we have some information to us. We have several speakers. If one speaker has already said what you hope to say, then you may not need to repeat it. And also an important cautionary word, we have no control over zoning. Your comment should be reserved. If you have zoning comments, reserve them for the zoning board. We are here to explore the appropriateness of the addition and other factors. That all being said, do we have the property owner to start with?
Yes, we do, and he is unmuted.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for taking the time. I'm here to answer any questions that you might have moving forward.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. We may come back to you. And then we have other folks who wanted to have a comment. Taylor?
Yes, I believe first up we have Miss Marie Frederick. Marie, you are unmuted.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So I represent the Lutherville Advisory Committee in Lutherville. We have great concerns with the size of this garage. It is a very large size garage for this piece of property. It's larger than any garage we have in the district. It is not in keeping with the size of garages. Most of the garages here were carriage houses and have been used for garages and or storage. We do not have attached garages front facing from Seminary Avenue. We do have ones you can see what they were carriage houses set in the back. As you all know, we just went through this for the past several months. So it's just a very large garage, and it also impinges the view from the neighbors below because this is a very large panhandle lot, and that is a concern for the space as well as views from the east and west sides because we were made with open space, trees, and in the back, and I sent some pictures along as well. I don't know if you've had an opportunity to see those or not.
We have, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, they're on the screen, Maria, if you would like to.
Okay, so, so the one on the left, and actually it's interesting because I was going through the guidelines today, and the 209 West Seminary Avenue is actually in the guidelines as an appropriate structure that blends in, as all of these structures were infill, and we spent a lot of time making sure that they did fit in. The Ortuglio's property does fit in. I just think the garage, the commission, or excuse me, our committee feels that it's just much too large for the site and for our community.
Thank you, Ms. Frederick. We appreciate it. Anything, you have a minute left. Any further thoughts before I go on?
No, I think, I wrote it in the letter. I've sent pictures. The pictures on the left shows what the view is down the driveway, and that panhandle lot, that driveway is owned by the owner of 215 in the back, as well as the right picture shows their view. They will be looking at, a large structure. And the structure also does not have any windows showing on the east side of that garage.
Thank you.
Which I think need to be, if it's approved, there would definitely need to be windows on that side.
Okay, thank you. Taylor, we have another guest.
Yes, next up we have Miss Stacy Forrester, and if anyone else from the public would like to testify, please either use the raise hand button to let staff know that you would like to speak, or please send a message in the chat to the host so that we can get you unmuted next. Stacy, you are unmuted.
Yeah, hi, this is actually Shane Harris, the property owner of 215 West Seminary. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, Stacy here as well. Yeah, the biggest concern I probably have is the viewpoint, from the back and pictures that you see. It does completely take out a large section, of the view from the rear. I have some major concerns about the safety, of the driveway itself. At this point, it's a shared driveway with vehicles coming to and from the back. And as you noticed in my, attachment, this is a pretty busy walking area for all of us, as we traverse through. I think it just creates, not only for us in the back, visually, it cuts a lot of our visual sight off. But again, being that it's right on the property line, shared driveway, I just think from outside of the view, I have safety concerns, emergency vehicle concerns, everything being that close to the property line. And like I said, it's right in our view. It takes a big portion of our view out.
Thank you, Mr. Forrester. Anybody else, Taylor, if they come on and indicate an interest?
Nope, no one else has sent a message, and no one else is raising their hand.
Good. Thank you all. Commissioners, comments, thoughts, questions for the owner?
This really seems like a zoning issue to me, and I don't think it's going to get past zoning. It just so happens that we're first in line of review. So I'm inclined to go with staff recommendation on this one.
Yes, it will need a variance in order to be constructed, which will also have a public process. So the neighbors will also be able to address their concerns on any, zoning issues in that forum. So they'll be able to do it twice.
So, Caitlin, just for clarification, so if the owner, if Mr. Ortuglio goes through zoning and they request that it be set back or moved, does he then have to come back through us for approval of a final design?
Correct, yes. If they,
Okay.
if zoning doesn't approve the variance, or if they asked for it to be moved, to compromise or whatever, whatever changes that'll be made in its location or any changes in design because has to be moved, they would have to come back to the LPC to review those changes.
And
I'm sorry.
go ahead.
I think the Lutherville Review Committee has not approved this project, and I was wondering if they should be reviewing it first, and he should get their blessing before even applying for a variance, and before we issue an approval on it.
That's an important thought. This is, we are assuming that there are going to be some zoning issues and it may be a problem, but we perhaps should disregard that and react to it as if there were no zoning issues on whether we thought it was an appropriate addition and an appropriate design. And so I asked the panel to kind of try and seal off the zoning idea while they may expect they may have a critical view of it. This is our shot at it, potentially, as it is. So if we vote to approve it and it does get through zoning, we won't get another look. If we vote not to approve it pending zoning, then we will get another look either way.
I have a concern. I'm a little concerned. I mean, I'm not terribly concerned with the doors facing forward because it's back behind the house. I'm not terribly concerned with the size, but I am concerned with putting the building right on the property line, particularly when it's a very narrow driveway, access driveway back, and it's right on the property line. I'm just worried that it's so close for cars. It just seems like it's, you know, a car slips in the ice, anything happens, it hits the car, the building, it's just right on the property line. And I'm just a little concerned with that. And the Lutherville folks said something about putting windows on that. I'm not sure you can have windows when a building is on the property line. I don't think you could do it. So
it's a zoning, I think, fire.
That's more of building code issue of putting, you know.
So
I don't know what rating you need if you're putting a building on a property line. It's I think there's a lot of questions that I have that are, I'm not sure it's a good idea. So other folks, Chris, do you have any thoughts on that, or Lily?
I don't think it preserves the view sheds of the, I mean, I'm sure when the, well, I'm not sure, I don't know, but if the part of the designation for how these houses were infill was to preserve view sheds, then this is clearly going to block that. So that's a big concern for the lots in the rear. And
but I'm not sure having a view shed to Seminary Avenue is an important view shed, but I'm just drove down Seminary today.
Right. We can talk about both sides of that.
It's pretty far back, and I'm not sure I have a big concern about that. I mean, I respect the property owner in the back's concern, but I'm not sure that I have that concern.
So what I'm hearing is some hesitancy on the board, and it sounds like we're leaning toward a motion to not approve it in its current iteration.
I'm not sure yet from my perspective, but I'm just raising the concern, and I was curious if other people had a concern with it being on the property line. If no one else
I do too. I think that somebody's going to hit that, but I'm just speculating that it's going to get picked up in zoning, and so I'm kind of kicking the can down the road, as it were.
Yeah, but the question is, so if we kick it down the road and it does get approved by zoning, we don't get another look. And so that I want all the members, the commission members, to be clear on that thought.
Right, but isn't my purview to say it's too close to the property line? That's where I'm coming from.
Right, so I'm asking you to, in absence of, if it was set back 5 feet from the property line, how does the addition look?
Can we talk about size and location as two separate things? And then, because I don't know if zoning says, well, if you just move it 5 feet, you're fine, or something like that. Like, can we determine whether the size is also appropriate?
Any thoughts, anyone?
Well, I'm okay. It's 1 story. It's, the peak of the roof is well down below the roof of the existing building. I'm not terribly concerned with the size, particularly with the view from the road. From the side, maybe it's a different issue because it is awfully long. Do we have an option, staff, that we could say we want to table this until after the zoning is taken care of? Because it may well, it looks to me like it's going to be coming back to us anyway.
Yes, you can make a motion to not approve the plans as proposed and wait until the homeowner goes through the zoning process for a variance to see if it will make any changes or not. You're more than welcome to do that.
It's a declination kind of with a footnote to the owner saying, you're welcome to bring it back, but do this other thing first. Would you like to make that as a motion, Ed?
Okay. I move that we table this item until such time as we have it's either passed or been modified due to zoning issues.
So you're going to vote to not issue a certificate of appropriateness.
We have to take the word table out and just say we're going to not approve it.
Okay, we can do that too.
Okay, thanks.
Right.
Thanks, Ed. Is there a second?
Second, Chris Weston.
Jessica, roll call, please.
Okay, thank you. Chris,
No.
Ed,
No means we're voting against the proposal.
Yeah.
My motion
Yes. A yes vote is
for not voting it.
right, for not approving.
Sorry, I didn't want to approve. So should I change mine to yes?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, yes.
Yes and yes. Thank you, Chris.
okay, yes and yes. All right.
Yes.
So moving to Lily,
Yes.
yes. Ray,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Talisa,
Yes.
Wendy,
Wendy messaged me that she's having some audio issues. So I'll let you know if I see a message from her in the chat, but you can go to Vince and then John.
okay. Vince, please.
Yes, I came in. The answer is yes. I came in late, but what I was able to read and then gather from the discussion, my vote is yes.
Great, thank you, Vince. And finally, John.
Yes.
Thank you.
So thank you, guest and owner, Mr. Ortuglio, for visiting with us, and we'll look forward to hearing from you again. And now we move on to item number 10. Jessica.
Great. Thank you. Item 10 is the last on the agenda. It's Club Hill House, the Kulik property located on 9301 Old Hartford Road in Parkville, County Council District Number 3, is a final landmark number 67, MIP number BA281, and the owner is proposing the expansion of an existing side addition. So this portion of the existing one-story board and batten 1970s kitchen addition, proposed expansion is located on the east elevation. The proposal is extending the footprint of the existing addition and adding a second story. The addition will consist of a mudroom and staircase on the first floor and storage on the second. It will be clad with 3/4 in PT plywood and we have a measurement missing. Strips to create a board and batten pattern to match what's existing. The roof line is proposed to match that of the historic stone portion of the house and will have a standing seam metal roof to match what exists. The homeowner wishes to add a salvage schoolhouse bell that was salvaged from an antique shop. Our design guidelines state that an appropriately designed addition should be visually subordinate to the primary building and that the height should be lower than the historic structure. The proposed roof of the addition aligns with the roof line of the adjacent historic stone structure. Staff recommends that the roof line be dropped, remove the south elevation. The rear will be set back from the adjacent building line. The existing rear exterior door will be reused on this elevation, and 4 6/6 windows, Pella black aluminum clad divided lights are proposed on the first and second stories of the elevations. The window style will match the others on this addition, and the window dimensions were not provided. On the plans provided, the proposed windows appear to be larger than those on the adjacent historic stone portion of the house and do not align. On the north elevation of the addition, the single window proposed on the second story looks out of place with the rest of the elevation and house. Staff recommends moving the window to the first floor and centering it on the wall and having it align with the other windows. On the east elevation, 4 windows are proposed. The number and window size appear too much for a small area. Staff's recommendation is to have a single window on each floor, centrally aligned instead of 2, 4 total. In addition, the sill and header heights appear to be too high and should be lowered to be in more alignment with the others on the addition. Staff is accepting of the general location of the addition as it is an expansion of an existing addition. However, there are a few aspects of the design that should be reworked to create a more compatible addition. Staff encourages the Commission to discuss the recommendations presented and review the proposal for its adherence to our design guidelines. Staff recommends that the applicant revisit the design with his architect to address staff's recommendations and any recommendations of the Commission. So our staff recommendations are to vote to not issue a certificate of appropriateness or a notice to proceed and have the owner return with better plans that are more compatible with the guidelines. Citing Baltimore County Historic Design Guidelines, Additions and Infill, page 3, County Code, section 327405.
Thank you, Jessica. Is the owner with us or is the architect with us?
We have a call-in user. It's a 410-241 phone number. I'm going to unmute you. Can you just let us know if you're with this project?
Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear? Hello? Can you hear me?
Is this Yuri?
Yes. Hi, this is Yuri. I am Yuri. Yes. Yes.
Yuri, this is John Holman, the Commission Chair. Would you like to add any comments to our reading about the proposed addition?
Sure. I got bits and pieces of it. I have obviously a very old tablet and it wasn't working, so I had to call this in. I heard parts that some of the windows don't align or what have you. I mean, we can make any adjustments that the Commission feels is necessary. You know, we're putting the same windows in that are already existing in the wraparound addition that you see that's there. I'm not making anything different. I can move the windows down. I can get rid of that one window in the back or in the front of the house. That does look a bit perhaps out of place. That's fine. I'm very open to anything that you guys suggest. Again, I had my architect, you know, fill this out and do all this. I didn't, you know, and he says he knows a lot of what the Historical Commission requires and wants to see. But again, I'm hoping, I was delayed. I don't know if you know the background of this. I was delayed so many times on this project. I've had, I guess, 4 architects that I hired before and they left and didn't really submit stuff correctly. And then I had to figure out on my own what we needed to do. So then I hired Mr. Jason, and he seemed to be a little bit more knowledgeable. But again, anything you guys need me to do, I'm very open to. I'm just hoping we can at least proceed and break ground and I can pour the foundation. And then I can always, while I'm working on a foundation, I'll get with Mr. Jason and we can reassess or redraw whatever you guys need to make this compatible and to your satisfaction.
Thank you. Thank you. Just a clarification on how it would work. We either will approve it or not approve it, and we may not approve it with recommendations to you, but do not start work until we have approved it. Don't lay a foundation. Don't start down that path in the event that some revisions are necessary. And I'd hate for you to waste your time and money. Commission members, any thoughts or comments?
Sorry, one second. I just wanted to note that the architect is also online if you guys have any questions for him or would like to hear from him before discussion.
Oh, thank you, Taylor. Why don't we open it to questions and then maybe the architect can respond to them as the commissioners have them. Commissioners, any thoughts, questions?
I have a couple of questions. Do we have a site plan or a plan that shows how this fits on the site? Because
There's an additional site plan included in your meeting materials.
I'm looking at it and I still don't quite understand the site. I don't see a site plan.
I have a similar, I was just looking on the Google Earth. It appears that the house is sort of set at an angle to the road, and that this addition is sort of back in the corner. So when I try to look at it from a street view, I really couldn't see it because it's angled back away from sort of at a 40. The house sort of goes at a 45-degree angle to the road, and this is on the back side of that.
But this still doesn't really show the addition, does it? I mean, where is the addition?
It looks like it's like way on the Google Earth that I had. It was like way back in the.
There's a little.
I could barely see it.
There's a little
I guess it's
X spot back
southeast.
there.
If I can intervene, I'm the architect here. There you go.
So that's
Right.
the placement. Is that to scale?
Yes.
That's not I don't think that's an adequate site. I don't see how that fits. I don't see driveways. I don't see. It's not what I would call a site plan. I mean, it's maybe barely a location plan, but I don't have enough information. I don't understand where on this building so that little X is the addition? Because that doesn't seem to look right based on the, if I look at the elevations of the.
Yeah, I think it's a concern. The photographs are not full. It's hard to see the front elevation, the extents of the whole house and the back. I don't understand the front and the back either. What's the front of the house and what's the back?
They have a.
Can we see the drawings?
I don't know. No, I mean, I'm supposed to be at work, but I did the intake. The last did.
New addition looks almost flush with what I think is the front. Maybe that's the back. It's hard to tell. The plans are very hard for me to understand. And I'm an architect. I should be able to understand it. I don't have a good building floor plan. I don't have a site plan. So I don't really understand how this is working and how it relates to the street, how you'll see it.
We do have
Site plans and floor plans were included in all the meeting materials that y'all received. Again, remember, this is just a summary.
We put them on the screen, the site.
I don't have them in the PowerPoint.
They are partial floor plans, so it's really hard to see the new work in relationship to the existing main structure.
Yeah.
So it's impossible, and the photographs are the same way. It's really hard to understand this piece in relationship to the whole. So the floor plans have to include existing and new, not just a little side of the house.
They do. We do have those. They're not here in the PowerPoint, but we do have the plans.
That may be true, but I haven't seen them.
So our options would be perhaps to decline to issue, just as staff recommended, and recommend to the architect and owner that they come back with more thorough plans and site plans. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Would somebody like to put that into a motion?
Images and pictures.
So really all we need to do at this point is to say we vote yes to agree with the staff recommendation, and then they can comment to the owner and the architect about what was lacking. We don't need to go into that detail. So the motion, should one of you like to make it, would be just to vote to not issue a certificate of appropriateness.
I'll make that motion. Vote, I move to not issue a certificate of appropriateness or a notice to proceed and have the owner return with better plans that are more compatible with the guidelines, aligning just some suggestions, align the windows. There's some strange, if you look at this proposed elevation right here, I don't understand. I'm trying to draw something here, but I'm not sure I can. There's on the proposed elevation, proposed east elevation, on the new, what I think is the addition, I see part of the addition has a narrow board and batten and the other has a wide board and batten. Why is that happening? Is that a step out? I don't think it is. I just don't, it's too hard. I don't understand it.
And so
some of it wide battens and other narrow battens.
So the motion is to not approve with comments that can be shared, of course, with the architect and the owner. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Thank you, Lily. Any further comments or discussion from commission members? Hearing none. Jessica, you want to do a roll call?
Yes.
And just a reminder, if you vote yes to the motion, we are denying the certificate of appropriateness.
Starting with Chris.
I'm disclosing that this person solicited me for work and we couldn't come to an agreement, so I'm going to abstain.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you. Ed?
Yes.
Lily?
Yes.
Ray?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Celicia?
Yes.
Vince?
Sorry. Yes.
Okay. And is Wendy with us?
I'm with you, but I did not hear the discussion, so I would have to abstain.
And let's see, 1, 2. So that leaves us with 7.
We still have John.
Okay, John.
Yes.
Thank you.
And with that, the motion passes.
Thank you. Thank you. Owner and architect, thank you for joining us. You heard the discussion, and staff will get back to you on how to proceed from here. But thank you for joining us tonight. And now we move on to some tax credit applications, correct?
Yes. Sorry, I'm looking for my paper. I apologize.
It's all right. I have it. I'll do it.
Okay, thank you.
So the following historic property tax credits are approved by staff as an emergency repair or due to receiving a Part 2 approval from MHT. So we have the Oakwood Bungalow, the Cremelmeyer property at 1301 Edmondson Avenue in Catonsville. They had MHT approval for an in-kind rebuild of original chimney. And the Martin property at 2103 Winchester Avenue in Catonsville also had an MHT approval for water pipe replacements, electrical wiring upgrades, and plaster repairs. We don't have any other business.
Well,
any commissioners have any questions or remarks?
Hearing none.
Welcome, Jessica.
Oh, yeah.
Yay, Jessica.
Happy to have her.
Thank you. Thank you.
And Taylor, if this really is goodbye, it's been a pleasure working with you. You are
She'll still be in the Department of Planning.
Yeah.
You know, I told her she can come back if we ever needed help for a meeting. So, like, if I decide to take a vacation during an LPC week, maybe she'll come help.
I would still love that. Yeah.
Very gracious. Thank you, Taylor. May I
And
have-
just as a note, I'm sorry. I just want to say thank you all. It's been such a joy serving as the secretary to the commission, and I've loved working with each and every one of you, as well as people that aren't here today and all the commissioners that have retired or left since I joined. Thank you so much for welcoming me with open arms and for teaching me so much over the past few years. I'm so grateful for all of you. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second? They're voting with their leave buttons here. All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Bye-bye, Taylor. Good luck.
Can we get a
Thank you
second
all
on
so
that?
much.
Yeah. Can we get a second?
We had a second. I don't
second.
know who did it, but I heard one.
Was that Wendy with the second?
Yes, my camera's not working now. At least the audio is.
Yeah, we got you twice. I see. Yeah. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Good night.
See you next month.